Hello and thanks for watching this short video on how to condense your data file in QuickBooks Pro Premier or Enterprise Solutions. This would include, of course, the Accountant Edition as well. In 2012 is when this really started to work well and shrink the file. I would argue that from '06 to through 11 didn't do a whole lot, and then '05 it had an archive and condense, but definitely 12 and going forward, you should really be able to condense the file. Now, I'm in the Accountant Edition. I'm going to point out where some features are that only for accountant in the condensing, whereas a non-accountant user would not have, but you'll still be able to shrink the file. And this is if you're running up against an error that says you've reached 14,500 list elements, or your file's just getting really big or slow, or you want to convert to QuickBooks Online, but you have too many targets, and I'll show you how to find that. It's on the product information window. You'll find targets right under file size on the left. So anyway, you go to the File menu, Utilities, and then Condense Data. And here you want to make some decisions. What transactions do you want to remove? So transactions before a specific date. So usually it would be, in my case, maybe I'm going to go back to before 1/1, 2011. And then let me try to actually do 12 here. Or all transactions, which I don't suggest you doing unless you're just creating a shell of a file that will just keep lists and preferences, right? Or if you're in the Accountant Edition, of course, you can find my video on how to do a period copy, but non-Accountant Edition users will just have these first two options. So you're most likely going to choose that first one, okay? The all transactions will be rare. You go ahead and click Next, and then you can choose how do you want the transactions to be summarized. By default, it'll create a summary journal entry for each month, but we suggest you just do one summary entry and it'll be dated 12/31/2011, or for you, just 12/31 or whatever the prior year from the date you chose to condense. And of course, for the Accountant Edition, you can choose to not create a summary entry at all, right? And you're literally creating a period copy. But for non-Accountant editions of QuickBooks Pro Premier Enterprise, you're just going to see the first two options. Okay? And then you click Next. And you can now, at least for the last couple of years, summarize how you can condense inventory. And you might want to summarize inventory transactions. That's recommended. And then what of these lists and other transactions do you want to remove? And I suggest selecting all of them. Click Next, and then unused lists. This is where it'll be important, particularly if you're running up to the 14,500 error in Pro or Premier. Customers and jobs, vendors, unused accounts, unused items. Go ahead and do that. Click None, and then of course begin the condense. And what's going to happen? It's going to create a copy of the file for you, and it'll go ahead and verify the data of the file as well. And it could take a while depending on the size of your data file. And that's essentially condensing in QuickBooks. Hope that was helpful. Have a great day.